Hello and welcome to this edition of Crossover. I'm白種中with Charlotte and Julian. And yesterday we were talking about your personal stories and how you felt about a foreigner developing in China, having a career in China. Today, basically, we're going to talk about how do people get famous, because there are different ways. To be a foreigner sometimes gives you the opportunity to become famous, like your own personal experience. But somehow, the traditional ways, like in many other countries, I guess it would be true in France and the States, the traditional ways to get famous would be through movies, if you're a movie star, if you're a singer, if you're a good one, through TV, if you're a good star. Reality shows. That might be relatively new, but if you know, these are the ways, or if you have a very famous father, you know. Jackie Chan's famous and his son is in this business too.
I know what you mean. So now we're talking about not only about foreigners, you mean about people, how do people get famous in this society?
A broader picture, how do people get famous these days?
Okay.
Yeah, well, and I guess this would be true in your countries too. I mean, if you are a film star, that's why actually, because in China, this is such a big business in the entertainment industry. And so many people get famous because they've starred in a hit movie. And this is the picture, because we have the Film Academy. Actually, every year they only recruit, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 students for acting. But you would see tens of thousands, if not, hundreds of thousands of people signing up, applying for a position in that small class.
Yes.
And I think you see more people applying to academies, film academies, or drama academies now, because, especially in China, because China has seen quite a few international movie stars. I mean, you have Zhang Ziyi, Gong Li, that have all made it into Hollywood and become international phenomenon.
So it seems as the dream is possible.
The dream is possible, so it's becoming much more popular too.
All of a sudden, it's within your reach. I mean, you can almost touch it. And there's another very unique way of getting famous in China is the big galas, like especially the Spring Festival Gala.
Oh yeah.
Explain Spring Festival Gala. This is so unique in China.
Well, the Spring Festival Gala, I have to say, was back in the day, maybe 10, 20 years ago, was the way.
The only way.
Really, the main way, because it's once a year, Spring Festival Eve, Chinese New Year Eve. CCTV's huge celebration akin to the Oscars, or here's a picture of
everyone wants to be on that stage.
It is the stage to be on, and the place to be seen and to perform. Here are the hosts.
Our colleagues, yeah. CCTV, because Spring Festival is such an important festival. It's the most important one. And CCTV is the national TV network. And when you see the combination of these two.
But still, basically, on Spring Festival Eve, all channels around China, whether it's CCTV channels or provincial channels, will broadcast this show, because everyone, the entire nation.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, the other channels broadcast?
Yes.
Okay.
The entire nation watches this show.
I mean, it's like virtually 80% of the total population of the whole country.
Yes. Well, but still, it's not what it used to be in terms of influence, because, as you were saying,
more choices
15,
these days,
you have so many more choices. I mean, there are much more people who don't watch it now, even if still, I mean, it's more in the big cities, so it's a small part of the population. But the overall feeling now is that people are not, glued to the TV set all night. They kind of wait. To be honest, after a few shows, everyone waits for the Top and Shan shopping that's going to be around midnight, and keeps the TV on and talks to their friends,
But now it's the year 2010, and now China's entertainment industry and television industry is competitive with any, with the United States, with France, with any country really. But 10, 20 years ago,
It all started in 1983.
Right, the Spring Festival,
Spring Festival
Gala. I mean, this was the annual sort of big event that everyone in China could see.
Sure. Yeah, it's like the new tradition because, from my personal experience, I started to watch Spring Festival Gala in 1984 with my father. It's like the tradition in my family. Well, we would, before that, it's like, because Spring Festival is the night the whole family would get together. Right. And wherever you are, just go back to unite with your family members. And that night we would have a get-together meal, a big meal. And before that, it will be, you finish the meal and you sit together, have a little chat. Mm-hmm. But after this, after 1984 in my family, we would, try to have the get-together meal done earlier than usual, than before. And just sit there in front of the TV, waiting for the start of the Spring Festival Gala.
Watching the gala now is part of celebrating the holiday. It's not just something that is on TV that you can watch. It's become part of the celebration.
But I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have a very, very good show for you on the Spring Festival Gala, it's interesting that there are so many internet forums going on, discussions all over the place. Sometimes somebody already famous was on the show, and after he was on there, no one even noticed, talked about, discussed about it on the web. You see that there are so many other topics that I'm sure we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
That's true.
People don't even care right now because if every year on the gala, one person can become famous because of that.
Yeah, that's true. Because years ago, this is the stage, this is the opportunity, and we do see overnight stars like Big Mountain. He's one of the examples.
Right,
he became famous overnight after he performed for the Spring Festival. But these days, because we have so much more choices, we have so much choices we can tend to. And it's just understandable because, you don't have to stick to just one show, and the influence is not as big as it was years before. But again, to be on that stage, to be on TV, to be on Spring Festival Gala, or to be another gala as big, maybe not as big, but it's still quite big, is the opportunity for many singers, actresses to
you wanted to see me sing? I was on it in 2008.
You was there?
Well, you can check it out. Sorry. I was singing. Yeah, we were 8 singing there. So.
Yeah, that's because you were one of the 8.
Well, the other 8 are much more famous than I am.
That explains why it's 8 of you. It's not one of you, because so many people want to be on that show.
Even if it was one, if you're not so good or so special.
That's true.
If it's a show, even for me, if I'm not really, really special or good, people are going to forget about me very, very soon.
And that's because now the bar is set a lot higher. This used to be the main platform for becoming a star, really. And now there are so many ways to become famous and to get, the attention of the public.
That's true, and we'll come back to that. We have so many new ways to get famous, and we'll talk about that right after this short break. Welcome back to Crossover, and now we come to the point to talk about the new ways to get famous, because just now you mentioned the reality shows. It's relatively a new phenomenon in China's entertainment circle. We see the singing competitions. Like the Supergirl, just like Chinese version of American Idol.
Superboy, I guess.
Yeah, Superboy, Supergirl. This year we have the Superboy, and different local TV stations that are doing similar things.
Mm-hmm. It's usually Superboys who look like girls and Supergirls who look like boys now.
And the
honestly,
no comments.
Check them out. Check them out. Honestly.
Anyway, and the latest show, a reality show, will be the matchmaking show. It's just popular,
That's right. They've really taken off the matchmaking shows, the dating game shows and stuff like that.
But you know what? It's all acted, so if you want to.
I wouldn't deny the fact that there are, true cases in these shows. But
well, it's as I was saying, I think it's a combination of very well organized. It's a play. It's a script.
It's a show.
It's a show.
In the
so
first
it
place.
has a script.
It is a show.
It's mostly actors and a few people who are dumb enough to really think of it as a real thing. And you have a mixture of all that.
Not necessarily. I mean,
Exactly.
I think regardless, people are entertained by this. And the point is, they're entertained by watching the show, whether it's real or fake or planned or not planned. The point is, it has a huge audience draw right now.
No, I was talking about people who are dumb enough to be on the show, not to watch it.
Well, but,
but it's different. Some people really don't understand what it is about and think of it as a real thing.
But you can't deny people get famous from being on these shows.
That's right.
Because they're so popular.
And one, it is a show in the first place because it's broadcasting on TV stations. And second, we can't say because this is a show on TV that all these people participating in these shows are not serious. And some of them, they are seriously looking for their dates. They're looking for their girlfriends or boyfriends.
A few of them, yeah.
And some of them are looking for an opportunity to become more famous.
That's
and
right.
do
Most
other
of them.
things. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, to be honest, this is the platform, and this is what's happening. And then when they get famous, they get famous. They have their market. Why don't we discuss why do they get famous on a show like this?
Okay, let me tell you something. First of all, we think in a traditional way, such as, there are people who have skills, and to manage all that, they're going to need an agency, and then, an agency to take care of everything and also find them some opportunities. Now, it's something different. You have big networks, big websites, and big agencies who need fame, and especially the networks and the websites. They need the numbers. They need people clicking. They need that. So what they do is they create a huge amount of fake news, fake popular people stuff all the time that if they are lucky will get enough clicks to become real famous people. And they create stuff like that. Tons of those every single day.
But I think you're going to another extreme. You're saying nothing on TV is true.
No, I'm not saying nothing, but a lot of what happens now, the main principle is that there are so many different medias right now that if you want to become famous, you have to consider doing promotion on, I'm going to name a few of the buses, taxis, TV, radio, the websites, everything, and all kinds of.
But if you go back to these reality shows, either it's a singing competition or the matchmaking show, the ones who get famous are because either they sing well, but in most cases it's because this is the platform where we can see the personalities of these participants.
That's right.
You like the personalities or you don't.
That's right, and being able to see the personalities.
Here's how it started.
She's the major one, the first important national champion in the singing competition, Supergirl, and she even became the cover girl. People like these participants because people like the personalities. That's the platform.
Yes, and I have to say, 10 years ago maybe, before these reality shows became popular, you didn't, at least in China anyway, you didn't have as sort of a wide opportunity to get to know the individual personalities of the stars you like to watch on television.
That's true.
Whereas now you have the internet, you have reality shows, you have all these different ways to actually, to some extent, get to know the person, know the personality, know beyond, that they're a good singer and they sing songs, or actor and they act in films, what they're like.
And to some extent, they also see the possibility that someday in the future, they might just become one of them. They see the hope.
That's what I want to say. It keeps the dream alive because, in the 80s, beginning of the 90s, especially with the Hong Kong stars and everything, they were so high up there, that people were kind of idolizing them, but they didn't feel close to them. So back then it worked. But to some point, obviously, it develops in another direction.
That's true.
And people see that, oh, yesterday she was just like me. Somebody aspiring to become, because all those kids who watch them, who love those people like Liu Chun here, they have been also in the at least the elimination round of those competitions, and they feel like they're one of them.
And really, you see this phenomenon all over the world.
That's right.
This phenomenon of yesterday you were just an average Joe Schmo on the street, or Mary from wherever, and today you're a superstar.
And we're also seeing the change of this, well, what we say, the rule of this industry, because years ago, they want to keep the distance from their fans, because that's how they, I don't know, maintain the
mystery or
the mystery.
mystique.
You need the mystery.
Yeah.
Mystery, distance means the star power, the stardom. But these days, they're doing it by giving you hope that someday, somehow, you would become one of them. And then this is also the platform where you can express yourself. Well, those are the cases with the reality shows, Superboy, Supergirl, or the matchmaking shows. And next, we're going to show you some pictures of the ones who get really famous on the internet. We'll be right back.